What up, everyone? It's Black Wellness News. Let's get a little bit of music going. And it's Wellness Wednesdays. So today we're going to engage in a little bit of Black Wellness News on our Wellness Wednesday. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, well, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, wherever you're at. And I am a sprinkle of wellness here. And where we are in this moment is we get into today's topics about Black wellness, everything. All right. Here we tap into our higher selves. We down with the Carbonation and Nature Boy. No, we're definitely not. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have been wrapped up in Nature Boy for the past week. And I don't know. It's like I'm happy he's in jail, but he was such a character that I don't know. I just want to see more of him. I want to see more lives of him. But anyways, before we get into that, let's just laugh a little bit. We got to start off a little bit light. We're going to laugh a little bit on Nature Boy real quick because I have to get into this. Nature Boy was a character. Look at this. Okay, so before we get started, if anybody doesn't know, Nature Boy, he didn't believe in, I guess, sexuality. He felt like all sexuality was the same. He was a cult leader. They came out with a documentary on Nature Boy, and the documentary honestly didn't serve justice because there is a documentary on YouTube. It's like 46 parts. I'm not even gonna lie, and each part is between 30 minutes and an hour. So it's definitely you have to binge watch or definitely go down a rabbit hole, just like I did. And I went down a Nature Boy rabbit hole, and I tapped into my higher self. But Nature Boy added his first transgendered female on to Carbonation, but it might have been a different name at the time. But yes, it was the first transgender female into Carbonation, and he was explaining how like sexuality is nothing. It's really of a cat. So let's just get into this tap into Nature Boy. This right here, this hit me. Get it. Da 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 da. Get a cat. Look at this man. Nature Boy was in the mother freaking. He was definitely tens across the board. He was in the dance. He was competing. Now look, look how much power Nature Boy had. Look how he has everybody doing this after him. This silly stuff. Oh my gosh, Nature Boy. Nature Boy. I'm not gonna lie. That man that was a powerful man. He was definitely a powerful man. All right, let's get into this. I don't want to call her a name, but this person right here, this woman, this cisgendered woman, she definitely is got the internet in a raw. And I really want to know how her book sales are going because everybody named Mama is going flipping crazy over this crumb bucket and her doctoral degree. Okay, now I'm not only giving you my perspective. I'm going to give you a person who went to Argosy University. I graduated in 2015. Okay, let me show y'all my degree really quickly. I was gonna get off of. Let me take this. I have this bonnet on, Lord. But I'm just going to show y'all my degree in this camera real quick before I completely turn the camera off. But yeah, so is that it? Ciao. Oh, let me do this. What the heck? Why this camera not on? Let me get to this camera. Hold on. Let me see what camera is on. Okay, boom, boom, close. Well, the camera doesn't want to work. What the heck is this? Either way, I think maybe this is it. Oh no. Of course it doesn't want to work, but my dang degree is right on this dang camera. And it was working the whole entire time. And now it doesn't want to work. Let me turn Instagram off and see if that helps. Let me do that. And this is the only thing that's on. No, the camera's the only thing that's on and it's acting up. All right, well, anyways, I have my camera on. And it was showing my degree, but this camera want to act out now. And wants to not act right. Well, it doesn't really matter. But anyways, my degree was there. Enough of that. So that means y'all don't even got to see my hair. So that's a good thing. And Dr. Cheyenne is talking about Argosy University. Now, let me give you two perspectives of Argosy University. I was a master's student at Argosy University. I completed my degree. My degree's there. I'll probably post it some other time. But I have a degree from Argosy University. I also, because Argosy closed, because I was the last graduating class in 2015 to graduate before it lost its accreditation and closed. And what Dr. Cheyenne is saying is some of it is truthful, but then some of it is complete BS. And the reason why I say that is because Argosy did a very, very, very good job of making sure that all the students that left because they lost their accreditation in such an abrupt situation, that all of the students either could get their transcripts and they said, okay, this is where you can get your transcripts at, and you can transfer over to another school. Argosy made sure that that was going to happen. So the fact that Dr. Cheyenne is saying that she was unable to get her transcripts really is upsetting everybody, because it kind of is like you didn't, it's almost like you didn't finish school. So my teacher, he went to Argosy as well, and he was getting his doctoral degree. Before he graduated, he got his transcripts and went to Strayer University when Argosy closed down, and he ended up becoming a doctor and actually successfully graduating. What it appears to me based off of that is that Dr. Cheyenne just decided not to complete the program and become a self-proclaimed doctor, which is the reason why everybody's mad. So let's listen to this crazy, I don't know, let's listen to this.
Doctorate because people can't find your dissertation online. How are you responding to that in this new era of your life?
I'm going to clear it up once on here. I'm not doing it again. And I'm clearing it up for my doc squad, for my fan base, for my audience who deserve to hear
Not Doc Squad.
me address it. For the folks who have already made up their mind to not like me or not understand me, listen, I don't give a fuck what your
Oh,
narrative
Jesus.
is. I would like you to recreate it, double down on it, and run that shit.
Okay.
Fuck about it. Now,
Wow, she is cursing a lot.
my fan base, my folks, my village is very simple. I went to Argosy University, completed an entire program. I went back online to get my official transcript because I was applying to a law school many years ago to be a professor there. And I had to provide my transcripts, right, to get hired. And I went to contact the school and say, hey, I need my official transcripts. I need my entire thing. And there was no school. I was like, okay, I'm confused.
Okay, so here's the problem I'm having. If you completed the school, that means you defended your dissertation, which means that it doesn't matter if you needed your transcripts or not. You would have the degree to say, I completed this program. Like, for instance, I can get my transcripts because I have a degree that says I completed this program. I recently am getting a state licensure exam, and they requested for my transcripts. If Argosy University wasn't such a good school, I really enjoyed the school. I would not be able to even receive my transcripts like she's saying. She's the only person that I know that has had this problem. And I know multiple people that have came from Argosy University. This means that she did not complete the program. And what she tried to do is request her transcripts. And she was probably having an issue with it because they said, here's your transcripts, but you did not complete the program. And she's got the gift of gab, y'all. She's got the gift of gab.
I Google, it says this school has been shut down. I said, oh, but they gotta have records. I mean, they were accredited when I attended the school. They were accredited when I finished the program. I go and look, there's a third party that has the records. Where I contact the third party, that third party only holds records for 2 years. I was past my 2 years. So that means that
That means that she should have found another program, another online program. And parchment.com holds your records forever because I graduated in 2015 and I could still in 2026, 10 years later, get my transcripts. I'm not lying. I can get my transcripts.
I had no access to records. And then I contacted, financial aid. You can't make up financial aid. It
Well, see, this is where she's coming across ignorant. If there's no school, there's no financial aid. So why would you, what number are you calling a dead number? I thought she was a doctor. I thought she was, this is what I mean by the gift of gab. She's able to make things sound like it's one thing, but really it's another. All you had to do is show you have your certificate of completion, and that is your degree, right? You defended your dissertation. It's supposed to be online, right? There's other people from Argosy University that have a doctorate that their stuff is still online. You can go online right now and look at a bunch of doctoral students from 2015 because I knew a doctoral student who graduated and their dissertation is online.
shows that I paid for a doctoral program alongside my master's program and my undergrad program. And they say, we can fully refund you your money.
No.
For one circumstance, we give you your money back. You don't get credit for not a class, a course, a program you took in this university, at this institute. So, do you want us to refund you? Or do you want us not? I said no. Because I didn't want to risk the chance of them saying, well, we're going to give you back your money, and it wipes out your entire program. Luckily, I had, I do this with all of the schools. I had downloaded from the actual student portal my transcripts at that time.
Those are unofficial transcripts that she's referring to. They're not official. I'm telling you, it's giving she did not finish the program after she found out that the school was shutting down. A lot of people were frantic when they were at the end of their doctor. I remember this verbatim. They were frantic after their doctoral program before they finished it. And they said, oh my God, I can't believe I have to go to another school. I'm almost done. Some of them put their big girl and their big boy panties on, i.e. my supervisor, and finished the program at a different school. It's giving she didn't want to do it. I'm sorry. This is just my observation.
And I was able to get just about all of my transcripts, including up to like dissertation. But everything else, there's just no holding take for any of our.
Lies. Up to my dissertation, she still has yet to say that she went across a board to defend her dissertation under the APA, the American Psychology Association, that we were K-CREP accredited. The APA was overseed everything we did. She couldn't make a move without them saying, hey, we approve of this. Up to my dissertation, I'm telling you, she stopped at the dissertation.
Records, which I think is completely effed up.
No.
All going to kill you online this week. They're going to say she has no records. They just want to hate you regardless.
No, that's fine. And it's not even that there's no records that I don't. The school had a third party that carried the records.
The school had a third party that carried the records, and they have multiple third parties that carry the records. You can go on multiple websites and get your transcripts. I almost want to, because I don't want to show my business, I did seriously want to show y'all my transcripts, but I don't want y'all seeing anything else. But yeah, I have my transcripts.
only for a limit of 2 years. So it's not me, it's any student that attended art
That's not true.
classes. But again, it doesn't, how can I say, it doesn't affect me because if I chose to go get a license as an LMFT, I have my master's in marriage and child therapist, I have my hours. I can just take that and say, hey, let me submit these for licensure, and I want to go sit for my exam, and all I have to do is study. I don't need a doctorate in counseling psychology to go get licensed as a therapist. That's what.
The thing that we're trying to get at is, Dr. Cheyenne, is you're naming your self-proclaimed doctor right now. Where's the dissertation? And this isn't helping.
We're all missing.
The conversation.
Okay, so she kind of like low-key lied to me. I don't know what to say about that. I'm really at a loss for words because I don't know. I'm going to stop talking about this lady because she really is just not that serious. But I understand that okay, let me say this. I did defend her. I did very much so think that she had her doctoral program. I defended her because I was an alumni of Argosy University. Therefore, I was like, I want to make sure that people don't chew her up. But now you're on your own, girl, because none of it's making any sense. None of it's making any sense. And yeah, let's move on from this lady because she's just annoying right now. Okay. Next subject, we're going to get into Bowie State. Oh my God. No, let's talk about this real quick. PCOS is no longer PCOS, okay? PCOS is something that I actually was diagnosed with. In case you don't know, I have a woman beard. Auntie got a beard. And every time I say beard, it makes me laugh. But anyways, it's no longer called PCOS. The biggest thing is that the C was for cyst. PCOS kind of like it messes with your hormones. It's like it affects the insulin in your hormones, and you can't, like, so if you eat a lot of sugar, it stays, the chunkiness stays on the lower half of your belly, your fupa. Sometimes you have these cravings for sugar. You can't help yourself. You're kind of up, you're down when it comes to your hormones. It could have, it's like, and it's also metabolic, so it's just all up in your system. So now they realize that PCOS wasn't just dealing with the cyst, because not everybody had a cyst in their ovaries, but definitely making it polysyndrome metabolic ovarian syndrome. Okay, so this condition used to be called PCOS. Now it's called PMOS. Okay, so, they're saying that PCOS is outdated and PMOS is up and running, which is going to be kind of crazy because I have this turtleneck thing and I say PCOS, but this change happened in May 2026. So it happened like yesterday. I was so wrapped up in Dr. Cheyenne and I was in a training, so I didn't even get a chance to like really go into it. But yes, PCOS is now PMOS, and it means piss me off or something like that. Anyways, so that little change has happened in the medical care system. You're seeing a lot of people talking about that, a lot of people just going into the whole PCOS thing, you know what I mean? Just really just circling around it because, it's a big thing in the medical condition. When names change in healthcare, we want to make sure that we're saying the correct name. So it's just like misgendering somebody. Like if somebody like, oh, you got PCOS, you might get somebody saying it's no longer called PCOS, it's called PMOS. Okay, so we're going to be correcting people left and right. The ladies with the beards are going to be correcting people left and right, and I can't wait. I can't wait to say it's no longer PCOS. I have PMOS. And it kind of sounds a little cuter, to be honest with you. But let's get to Bowie State. Bowie State, one of the oldest HBCUs. This is right around the corner for me. Plans to eliminate 79 jobs as they work to close. Estimated 18 million budget deficit for the fiscal year 2027. So it's not saying that they're losing their accreditation like Argosy University is, but it is saying a little bit of we're going to have to budget before we get to that motion. And to be the oldest HBCU, this is kind of bad. Okay. I think college, a lot of people aren't going to college these days. So I wouldn't, it's not a thing of fading out. It's just like some people are realizing that you may not need college to get to where you're at. But then sometimes you get to where you're at and be like, dang, I might need college or something. You know what I mean? Because it definitely gives you that extra social skills. It gives you the education. College gives you a sense of independence because you wake up, you figure out how to go to class, you wash your own clothes, you live in your own dorms, you have an apartment, you drive to school, you engage in a social activity in college, you engage in social groups in college, whether they're fraternities or sororities. College is what gives you that extra bump of social skills along with debt. I'm not going to lie, it does give you debt, but it also gives you a little bit of education and a sense of pride if you go to a HBCU like I did. But Bowie State plans to eliminate 79 jobs as the historically black university works to close an estimated 18 million budget deficit for the fiscal year 2027. So they're trying to make sure they get that budget down because then they're going to be having different conversations. The university leaders say the cuts include layoffs. That's so sad. Eliminating vacant positions, restructuring departments due to declining enrollment, which means they're probably going to have bigger classes, rising operational costs, tuition is going to go up, and reduced state and federal funding, tuition is going to go up, basically, because then some of that state and federal funding helps the tuition go down. So if it reduces that, that means the out-of-pocket costs. It means that the loans, student loans that are private that you may have to get are going to smack you in the face. Ugh, I'm so sorry to hear this, especially for the students that decide to enroll in that school. It goes, officials note that the enrollment has steadily dropped since 2024, leading to millions of lost tuition revenue. At the time, costs of employee benefits, utilities, technology, and infrastructure continues to rise. This is true. You still got to pay for those buildings, although tuition isn't paying. Although Bowie State recently received a $50 million donation from philanthropist Michaela Scott, the university leaders say those funds are intended for long-term investments and can't fully solve the school's ongoing financial challenges. Well, what the freak? That's crazy. What's the freak of what is that, a new building? So let me find out they pay for a new building without paying for the deficit, which is a lot of what a lot of schools do. The university says it remains focused on supporting students while making difficult financial decisions to stabilize operations for the future. You know what? We're praying for you, Bowie State. We really are, because if you're the oldest HBCU, then all of us are screwed. Okay? So, of course, we always have to blend Black wellness news with some positivity. This right here gave me a little bit of hope because I'm one that has taken a national exam 2 times. And I am putting a little bit money into the way that I study for for the national exam this time because I'm going to get a tutor, and it is costing me every time you take a national exam. It costs you money. It does cost you money, whether you get a tutor, whether you pay for the exam. It's not cheap. Like some of these exams are like $400. So Texas woman who dropped 25K and failed the bar 4 times finally passed on her fifth attempt. Delay can be preparation. Yes, girl, excuse me, I just drank some soda. After years of setback, financial sacrifice, and emotional burnout, 30-year-old Brianna Pratt finally celebrating a victory that once fell out of reach, passing her bar exam after 5 attempts and more than 2,500 investment into her dream of becoming an attorney. This is why you shouldn't give up on your dreams, okay, baby? Go ahead, Brianna. Pratt's journey stretched from July 2021 through February 2026, forcing her to balance career changes, mental exhaustion, and personal disappointment while refusing to walk away from her goals. So let me say this real quick. Because she wanted to be a lawyer and she couldn't pass a bar exam, she would have to have found another career after getting her law degree, which I can only imagine where she was working. She was probably either working like maybe as a paralegal or maybe even for the government. Who knows what she was doing, but she set her mind out to be a lawyer. And, sometimes it's really hard because back in the day, all you had to do was get your master's and then you were quote unquote what you say you are. Now you have to take a state exam, and sometimes your master's, just like Dr. Cheyenne, who has her doctoral and refuses to take her license. Sometimes it's like, oh, I did all this class for what? What did I do all this class for? Just to sit home and not have the licensure? So you got to work hard towards that license. Okay. Reflecting on the struggles, she told People, after sitting with my emotions, I remained myself, how far I have already come, and the first generation college student, law student, and homeowner. Okay, so Shorty's doing her thing. After failing the second attempt in 2022, Platt admitted it hurt putting all that much time and energy and effort and still falling short. I know that feeling, girl. By the third exam, she was mentally and emotionally exhausted and later realized stepping away from the process was necessary. Sometimes you got to do that and come back to it. That time away helped me rebuild my confidence and connect to who I was outside of my exam. Okay, preach your word. Okay, she explained, despite missing the mark again in 2025 just by 8 points, which has probably annoyed her, Pratt refused to quit. I learned that my rejection and redirection may delay and can be preparation, she shared. On the fifth attempt in February 2026, Pratt finally passed the exam, and now she's preparing to transition into a legal role at her company. Okay. And now she encourages others to face setbacks and saying, I am living proof that persistence pays off, delay but never denied. Congratulations, Brianna. Yes, congratulations. And this is very, very motivational to me. I really appreciate that. Just coming from a person, these state exams, they say these state exams aren't meant for the black person. They say that a lot. And I believe that a little bit. I believe that some of them are designed to see us fail. But we're just gonna go ahead and keep a positive spirit and a positive mindset to people who just don't stop and just don't quit. You have to not stop and not quit and keep going for your dreams. All right. So we're going to finally wrap up Black Wellness News with the positivity going, and we're going to get into Lamar Odom, okay? Let's clap it up for Lamar Odom, all right? He celebrates being 100 days sober. Continue to pray for me in my sobriety journey. It sounds like right now that Lamar Odom is in the action phase of his sobriety. We've all know that he has had some difficulties with, the little dibble dab here, the little dibble dab there. But we always want to keep him in good spirits. We love to hear anybody who is in recovery and keeps it going. 100 days sober today, he says, God is good. You always got to praise God in these moments. There are days I don't think I could make it, but God's grace and the love of people around him and the commitment to myself, I am still standing. To everyone out there fighting their own battles, whether it's addiction, depression, or just trying to find your way, keep going. Better days are ahead. I promise you are worth it. Continue to pray for me, my sobriety journey. And I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. And Lamar Odom, we so much thank you, sir. Okay. You are the man, Lamar. You're giving people hope. You're giving people praise. And you're giving people something to look at. So, with that being said, this is my episode of Black Wellness News, the live edition, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And just remember to tap into the higher self, like my man's nature boy would say, okay? And you know,